TideSports.com. We're on the side of Radio Row, got a little break in the action, and we've got Jay Barker with us.
What's going on?
How are you?
Doing great, thank you.
It's good to see you.
Back at SEC Media Days again.
Now, we talk about every year in the last, 3 to 5, how this has literally exploded in a way. It's kind of, we like to call it Hooverwood.
It is. I mean, it's amazing. And watching Saban come in and all the people surrounding him, he came to our table first and sat down and talked to us, doing some radio stuff, and it's like claustrophobic. I mean, everybody just kind of just converges right there. But this is kickoff for us in radio as far as football. We do it 365, but it's now time to get serious. And for the fans especially, it's really neat to see them come out and want to catch a glimpse of the players, the coaches, and for us as media guys to go around, we spend time with each other throughout the season, so we get a chance to go around and go to each talk show or talk to media guys and kind of talk about what our expectations are for the season for each teams and in your particular region of the SEC. But it's what it's all about.
When you state about how it's your kickoff, okay, and again, it's with the SEC, sure, but with what ESPN's done with the SEC, it's sort of become a national kickoff.
Yeah, it's amazing. I mean, it's
what's happened
with
this
the money, and we were talking to Mike Slive this morning. He said, look, we hit this thing perfect because all the negotiations began before the recession. So the money was locked down, the deal was done, and now the affiliates are happening with this SEC network, to get the national coverage that's outside of the 9-state region of the SEC. I mean, the exposure, the branding for not only the coaches, the players, but the institutions themselves to help with enrollment and to let these, kids that are in these other states and get a chance to meet, even talking about New York and Los Angeles. I mean, that just shows you the type of football and the brand that they've got here in the SEC that we have here, that we talk about every single day. Everybody nationwide wants to see it, hear about it, talk about it. And
when you win national championships at the pace that they're doing it,
and not just in football, you're talking about in basketball and baseball and just all the other sports that the SEC is competing at such a high level. I think that draws so much interest on a national level.
So what did you talk about with Coach Saban this morning?
We talked about the season, talked about Greg McElroy. That's the big, everybody asks on the street, come up to me and say, what do you think, quarterback? John Parker Wilson was on the station the other day, and it was so funny because he said, that's all they asked about my career. And then somebody asked him about his girlfriend, and then one of the show guys, Sean Henniger, Rockstar, goes, well, what does your girlfriend think about Greg McElroy, So everybody's talking about that. And so we talked about that, his offensive line situation, the defense coming back, very strong from last year. But, we asked about expectations, so we have none. He said, we don't put expectations. He goes, last year was last year. This year's this year. We have goals that we've set for ourselves, but we don't pay attention to what outside people, expectations they place on us, and we're not placing expectations on ourselves. We're going to take it one game at a time. And that's, you'd love to hear that as a former player, to know that, they're not buying into the hype and also not trying to create hype. They're just going to go out and play football.
I'm going to ask you about McElroy. Okay? I'm sure when John Parker Wilson takes his team undefeated, possible chance to go to a national championship, your name starts coming up. Last quarterback to do it. Comparisons here, there. Do you get that a lot? Do you get people asking you, well, do you see a little bit of Jay Barker in Greg McElroy as same thing with what happened?
Yeah, I mean, people ask that all the time. I mean, whether it's been all the quarterbacks who come through after you finish up, and John Parker will get the same type of questions too as he continues on with his career. But Greg McElroy is Greg McElroy. He's got, to me, a great mind for the game. He seems to make great decisions on the football field. He manages the team well. When he steps in the huddle, he commands it. Talking to Mike Johnson today, he said, look, people are going to be surprised at how good he plays and that he can become a really good player in the SEC. Everybody talks about his smarts, but we think he's going to be a playmaker for us in the offensive side of football. So hearing those things makes you feel good about it. And, for him, this is his time to shine. And I think Coach Saban hit it on the head. He said, look, Greg McElroy, he's only going to be as good as when he first steps out there and how well he performs. He's going to earn the respect not only of his teammates but of the fans, of the media. He's just got to go do it. And he just hasn't had a chance to step in a backup or mop-up role to come in and create some great plays. I mean, the pass to Marquise Mays in the Auburn game was outstanding for Alabama fans to kind of add more points on that game, get it 36-0, but also to see him step up and make the throw.
And to Mays was big as well.
It was. That's exactly right.
That's another question mark. You think who's going to complement Julio this year?
Sure.
Who's going to step up? Before I let you go, I know you're busy.
Sorry.
Let's talk about the season. Your expectations.
Well, I think it's tough to go 12-0 in a regular season. People don't realize how hard it is to go undefeated, and then once you get to a Florida and a Utah, who are two very good football teams, You know, it's I don't know, for Alabama this year, you know, to win 10, 11 games, I think would be an outstanding year. To win 9 is going to be a good year. I mean, it's a tough schedule, starting out with Virginia Tech. We're going to find out a lot about this football team early on. There'll be 2 top 10 teams meeting over in Atlanta. And, I think expectations are high because of what happened last year, but there's a lot of holes to fill in the offensive line, quarterback position again, inexperience there. But hopefully the defense can carry this team early on, let the offense catch up, and then would love to see them have the type of year they had last year. I mean, I think the players themselves, Mike Johnson, look, it's my last year. I want it to be even better than last year, and I hope they're able to accomplish that, especially those seniors.
All right, Jay Barker.
All right, bud.